Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker has arrived, and there's so much excitement for Final Fantasy XIV right now that even the servers are struggling to catch the pace. There's a lot to go over, but we'll do our best to go over it all here. Hello, welcome back to League of Gamers. Today we bring a more entertaining topic for you. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more up-to-date and entertaining content. Just one click on the bell icon and stay with us. Now, let's get started on today's game topic. Final Fantasy XIV, the popular MMORPG, was first released almost a decade ago, but Square Enix is set to release Endwalker, a big expansion, this year. It offers new areas to explore and 2 new classes to conquer, and a climax to the primary story arc that has been running since the game's 2.0 relaunch in 2013. Endwalker is said to end the current story arc that began with A Realm Reborn, despite being far from the game's last expansion. Final Fantasy XIV's previous 3 expansions offered a lot of lore and plot, just like any other MMORPG. Here's a quick story of the plot so far to help newbies get up to speed and veterans refresh their memories. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker main story. The Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker expansion features the climax of the Hydaelyn and Zodiac story, with your heroes facing an even greater tragedy than ever before, a second advent of the final days. Various characters in the trailer know that peace is temporary and appear to be ready to fight whatever is coming from the stars. The last time we saw the Warrior of Light and the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, they were staring at the moon after fighting a pack of lunar primals and their tempered thralls as Fandaniel bids us farewell before he prepared to lead in a new messiah of the final days. So far as Endwalker's story goes, there aren't many details besides walking on the moon, traveling to new zones, resolving whatever issues arise, and traveling to Old Sharlayan to persuade some stubborn scholars who aren't bitter about their Endwalker job preview. There are parts of planet Hydaelyn that we haven't yet to visit. There are continents and locations that have yet to be discovered and explored. There's a chance there, Yoshida said. With the storyline of Shadowbringers, we learn that the Crystal Tower could not only take us to distant realms such as the First and those divided by the Sundered, but it can also move us in time, enabling us to go to the past and future. So there are still a lot of options open to the player. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker new areas. When a new expansion comes, there are going to be a lot of amazing areas. So let's take a look at those areas we know so far. Number 1, Labyrinthos. Aside from being discovered as an underground dome beneath Old Sharlayan, an artificial sun and sky, and a beautifully managed climate, little is known about this region. It was built with the intention of serving as a repository for tomes and treatises on any placing more emphasis. Number 2, Garlemald, the Garlean Empire's capital. It's been highlighted so many times in the story that I'm sure most of us are eager to get our hands on a map and explore the now deserted empire. Number 3, Thavnair. The Bounty is an island in the center of the sea between Orzia, Othard, and Ilsabard. It is a scorching and arid island, to the point where its residents need an insane amount of perfume to conceal the stench of sweat. Alchemy is great for the island. It is also one of the few spots on the continent of Azora where Lalafels are native. Number 4, Radz-at-Han. The ancient city-state is the capital of Thavnair's island and the origin of modern alchemy. The city-state has retained its independence through a non-interference policy with the Garlean Empire and maintains trade between Garlemald, Hingashi, and Azora. It's where the Garleans receive Azorians in a roundabout way if you think about it. Number 5, Old Sharlayan. Scholarly nation, where the pursuit of knowledge is valued much more than the end of the world. Sharlayans are seldom involved in international politics and are hesitant to share their expertise for fear of it being misused, particularly for military purposes. Nevertheless, the champions are about to enter a magnificent country rich with a library from numerous eras. Now we will discuss some new jobs involved in this expansion. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker New Jobs. When Endwalker is released, users will be able to try out 2 new jobs. So step aside, Dark Knight, because the Reaper is fighting to become the game's next edgelord. It's trendy, looks good in black, can call a Voidsent avatar to fight, has a cool scythe weapon, and is also known as an angry botanist. Yes, Reaper is a botanist from the Disciple of Land class. Alright friends, hope you are enjoying the video. If you are, then what are you waiting for? Go press on the icon bell to subscribe to the channel League of Gamers to be notified when the next video is live to watch more prodigious videos in the future. Keep watching the video. Now, moving towards our first spot. Number 1 is Reaper. The Reaper is a new damage job in town that takes down enemies and takes their souls with its Scythe and Voidsent avatar. Yes, the botanist explanation is becoming clearer. The soul gauge, a red bar, and the shroud gauge, a blue bar, are its resources. It fights enemies to generate resources for the soul gauge, then uses avatar attacks to generate resources for the shroud gauge before possessing you and unleashing a devastating combo with a heavy and cool-looking graphic finisher. Number 2 is Sage. The Gunda or Sage is a new healer job that players will have access to. Its job in combat is to minimize damage as much as possible while also healing the group, as it is categorized as a barrier healer with Scholar. It deploys flying laser weapons that resemble the Gundam anime series bits or funnels. At the same time, it will rely heavily on Cardia for healing. Cardia is a semi-permanent buff that the Sage confers on a selected party member, comparable to the Dancer's dance partner. When the Sage casts certain magic attacks, everybody under Cardia's influence will receive a modest heal. As an aside, the Sage has a gap closer to where it can obtain Gundam wings, so it's quite nice. Next come new raids and challenges in Endwalker. Because there isn't much to go on right now, we'll just share what the official Endwalker website has to say for now. First though, because 2 iconic summons from Final Fantasy X, Anima and the Mega Sisters first appeared as bosses in Final Fantasy IV, we're in for a treat with the new trials. There are 2 trials involved in Endwalker. The first is Anima. This monstrosity is agony-made flesh, encased in an alien carapace and shackled by a heavy chain as its jagged maw hangs wide. A baleful light burns within its hollow eyes. Second is the Mega Sisters. Thamnair's people have long been rated a trio of gods. Sindaruva, the eldest, is thought to provide wisdom, Sandaruva, prosperity, and Mindaruva, ingenuity to the family. Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker new races. Now let's explore some amazing new races. Number 1, the male Viera. Many of you may remember that when the Shadowbringers race information was first revealed, many people were shocked to know that the new playable races, the Viera and the Hrothgar, were gender locked. We're lucky because the development team will release Endwalker with a male Viera. It's sad to hear that they haven't been able to include female Hrothgars yet due to their hectic schedules, but they plan to do so after the 6.0 releases. Number 2 are Carsadora. This is one of the best tribe's newest members. The Arcasadora have the appearance of elephant people, yet in Final Fantasy XIV, they are recognized for their prowess in pursuing knowledge, particularly alchemy. They are Thamnair natives who founded Rads at Han, with the help of certain Ara and Hyrule migrants. Number 3, the Loporrits. It isn't much known about this new beast tribe except that they come from the moon and that Namenwe, one of their minions, is of the same race. So guys, now time to answer an important question. Is Final Fantasy XIV crossplay? Yes, Final Fantasy XIV has always been cross-play with PC since the PlayStation 3 days. Players of Final Fantasy XIV have always been able to play with one another, regardless of their preferred platform. If you have a copy of the game on the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 and then switch to PC, you'll be delighted to hear that as long as you're using the same Square Enix account, your progress will be picked up just where you left it, and vice versa. So guys, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker has been released. I haven't played it yet, so what are you waiting for? Go and play, have fun. And don't forget to tell us, do you like this expansion and its jobs? We would appreciate your thoughts. Let us know in the comment below. So, that's all about today. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel so you can join the League of Gamers squad and be a part of the channel. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time. Bye.